All right, for more on this, I'm joined on set by Reid Maki, the Director of Child Labour Advocacy from the National Consumers League. Reid, we saw the conditions that those children are working in. In this report, the word that caught my eye was these are described as artisanal mines, which in the West conjures up a kind of nice fluffy term for handbags and boutique goods. We're a long way from that.
This is some of the hardest working conditions you'll ever see. It's backbreaking work. Kids are working 10, 12 hours a day for as little as $1 or $2 a day in some cases.
And these mines, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo, flourished after essentially the collapse of the economy there, which is why they're small-scale run mines. Is there a difference between these then and perhaps a multinational mine that might be run and have a bit more oversight in these kinds of countries?
Yeah, I think it is true that a larger mine will have more oversight. You know, it's easier to control. These are such informal enterprises that it is more difficult to monitor who is actually doing the work.
These components, particularly cobalt that we saw in Daniel's report there, end up in things like iPhones, car batteries, and so on. How much more do you think some of these gadgets would cost if these mines weren't employing children who were earning $1, $2 a day?
So I believe that the cost of the gadgets would go up almost invisibly. There would be almost no increase. They could double the wages of the workers. There's a huge profit margin in an iPhone. You know, there's a $300 profit margins, about 50%.
And they retail for around $600, maybe more.
Yeah, $600, $650. The cobalt goes into batteries, lithium batteries, and the cost of those batteries, the manufacturing cost, is only about $5. So it's less than 1% of the cost of the phone. So and the child labor, the children working for that to gather that cobalt, are just that's a tiny fraction of that $5 manufacturing cost. So they could significantly increase worker wages. You know, what we really want to see are adults making a living wage.
So you don't buy this idea that paying people in emerging economies or developing countries more is going to push up the cost of a product?
I don't. I think it would be, I think that Apple and these other companies, Sony, Dell, whatever, they could easily absorb these increased labor costs that are at the bottom.
We're running a little short of time, Reid. One of the things that came out of Daniel's report there is that Amnesty is calling for companies to be more transparent, particularly about supplies of cobalt. Specifically, this is no legal requirement for companies to disclose that. Would that end this kind of thing at a stroke, or is there always going to be demand or children or women willing to work in these kinds of mines?
I don't know that it would end it, but it's a critical step in the process. Transparency is absolutely critical. There's a bill in the U.S. Congress now that would require large companies to report on their efforts to prevent child slavery, and the more transparency, the better.
Okay, Reid, we'll have to leave it there. Reid Maki, many thanks indeed for talking to us.